Hi, and welcome to the podcast channel for podcastmybusiness.com.au and for video with contentmadeeasy.com.au. And we travel and continue our international journeys today. We had London the other day, and today we're in California with Krista from the Positioning Collective. How are you, Krista?
Well, thank you. How are you today?
Look, I'm going to say I'm doing awesome.
Okay, fair. Californiaism. I got you.
I can't help it. Look, I do like going to America. We were just talking about how I was on the east and west coast the other day, and I'm, to use a Australian term, can I use the word wanker? I can, because it's my podcast. I go to the Hamptons mostly. Uh, yeah, it's another part of the world. It's quite incredible.
It is incredible. That is true. I've only been around there. I haven't quite gotten that far yet.
Yeah, it's the people there are a bit. Would I say odd? I probably would say odd. But
Maybe. Not as down to earth, maybe. I don't know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't been
Well,
there.
that's okay. It doesn't really matter. And look, what we're talking about today is about mentoring and how to build up and have champion teams. And we were talking about the recent football or soccer World Cup. See, there we go. I thought I'd do that for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so we're talking about the soccer World Cup recently, and we're talking about champion teams. And there was that famous example of Real Madrid that had David Beckham and a whole stack of famous players and world class players,
Mhm.
and they performed poorly.
Yes.
Now, why do you think that would be?
Well, I think it's the same in sports, and we see it
Mm,
in a lot of US based sports like NFL, certainly hockey.
mm,
We've seen that, baseball, even. Although baseball right now, the team with all the great players is doing very well.
mm.
It's the same as in corporate teams or
Yes.
in small company teams, that it becomes a matter of kind of everyone being for themselves. They're used to being the center, the go to person,
Mm,
instead of being a part of a group with a
mm,
common vision.
mm,
Sometimes they're after their goal record or their scoring record or their
mm,
100th game or 1,000th game or whatever that looks like.
mm,
And I think we
mm.
see the same in teams that I've worked with. Sometimes have been brought into, okay, what do we do with this team? What does that look like? I do a lot of consulting on that side. um, you want a common vision that everyone's bought into, no
Mm.
matter their skill level, no matter if they're in the back office or the water person. They all need to be bought in
Yep.
to achieve the goal. And if
Mm.
you are only for your own goals, that becomes a problem.
Yeah, and it's easy to become self-centered. And I want to touch on another little thing uh, that just popped up was is it a generational thing as well? Because we
Mm-hmm.
know the recent generations, uh, they want to be the boss within a year, and they want to get the biggest pay packet within a year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there is a in some cases, like we're talking about big groups of people, about big
Yes.
groups of
Yeah.
sports or how whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
They're unique situations in each of them. They're not all homogeneous for sure, right?
For sure. Yeah.
There are generational concerns that I've seen in the workplace, especially where, well, I just think it's a classic case of you don't know what you don't know. And until you are over that or you're through it, even, I mean, I'm learning a lot every day still. So
Mm.
I feel like the more patience that not only does the generation we're talking about have for themselves and grace, and that we have
Mm.
for them as leaders, we end up in a better spot.
Yeah. And I think it's that attention span. So I do online marketing, and I know the wonderful stats. Not that long ago, you could have people for 30 seconds to 20 seconds. Now, if you're lucky, you've got them for three.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. I think that's true. That is true.
Mm.
Well, and AI doesn't help that, I think.
Uh,
Right.
yeah,
I'm sorry. I know it's very early
yeah,
to jump into that.
yeah.
But I do think that's one of the biggest changes that we're seeing, and maybe not even in the way that you're thinking about.
Mm,
Because everyone can generate content like that,
mm.
doesn't necessarily mean it's the right content for the
Absolutely.
right audience, right? And so I believe that, like, back to that kind of that common vision, that common goal, if you're all not bought into the position you want to hold in the market and the message you want to go out with, your AI is going to be all over as well, whatever it's producing, because you're asking it to do the wrong things.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful term called AI slop.
Yes, we were just talking
Yeah,
about that today. Yeah,
there
it
you go.
is.
And I do a lot of work with AI. And this is what I like to do in podcasts. I make sure I do plenty of podcasts. I do podcasts for clients because the benefit is this sort of process here, we're getting more information, we're being more engaging, more
Yes.
direct with people. And that's what people want. That's what I want to see. That's what they want to understand is you and who you are and who your business is.
Yeah, exactly. We were having a funny not funny. We were having a conversation today about LinkedIn. And we do a lot of work with our leaders. I spend a lot of time with leaders talking about what they're posting on LinkedIn and what does that look like. Well, LinkedIn has changed what they serve up and their algorithms. We all refer to algorithms, right?
Yeah.
They're using their AI to now scour everybody's
Yeah.
posts to
Yeah.
understand if it's AI, if it's personally generated, what does that look like? And a gal that I've known for a while, worked with her a while ago at BMC, is an influencer. And she posted that she made a mistake for one of the executives she's been working with. And she used a semicolon instead of an apostrophe as a typo. That went through the roof for impressions and visibility because it was clearly not AI.
Yeah, I'm a little guilty of that. I do my podcast interviews and I do edit for LinkedIn using AI, but it's about an original topic.
Yes, right. And I think that's a great way to use it, frankly.
Yeah,
I do. I
yeah,
think that the using it, and maybe it's I think really what the point is that you can, if you choose to, generate so much content
yep,
that it may not all stay on point, on message, especially if you don't have clarity about what you want to say and your target audience and all of that.
it's intriguing. I kind of feel sorry for those people that have said, "Oh, I just get AI to do everything," and it just runs off and do it. And I feel bad for them, but I also feel good for me.
Because, right, because you know how to do it the old school way? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'd rather do the
Yeah.
combo, and
Yeah.
they miss out because they're regarded as AI slop. So they're getting all
That's
this
right.
slop produced, and it's not help. It's actually to their detriment. And I say, look, it's not good. And I go, well, it works for me. And I'm not sure about that. So, is that part of things these days as well in listening to other people's opinions as well?
Absolutely. One of the things that I have really been a proponent of, both in the work models that I use and as a leader, is, and it's not just to listen in the beginning, it's the practice of listening throughout. Whatever your lifespan is with a person, with a group, and to hear what's happening. Part of what I have tried to do, speaking of mentoring and coming back to that concept, I spend a lot of time working with early in career. And, you know, that's a different group of people every year, right? The early in career. And so I spend a lot of time hearing what they're thinking and what they're going through, and exactly what you're talking about, the concerns about I'm not moving fast enough, I'm not going up the chain. To me, if they can be patient and look at teams that they can learn from, and it's back to our sports analogy, right? Like the
Right.
team's got to have varying skill sets,
Yep.
varying diversity of age, of opinion, of skill, all of that, and then being allowed to fail. And so we learn from all of that, right? And so having that diversity is really important to a strong team. I have been known for looking for what I call utility players, people that are just can figure anything out. I have a couple of those on the team right now that I could throw any problem at you and you could figure it out. To me, that's a utility player in the work sense.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I do mentor as well. I work with the ACU University here in Australia,
Yeah.
and I'm in a there's this thing that I have, brain isn't functioning again today, where we mentor different students and other people, especially in startup territory. So I want to have a chat quickly about
Sure.
what do you think would be some priorities for someone starting up and wanting to start their own business? What should they focus on first?
For me, and how I coach early startups, whether it's an idea, whether it is, they've already kind of gotten going, is to hone in on their own voice. Because as you're starting a business, people are buying into you as a human. You have to be able to articulate what problems you're trying to solve, what position you want to have in the market, what's the one idea you want to hold in a customer's mind. And once we get the positioning nailed down, it makes the rest of your life pretty easy.
Yeah.
It helps you prioritize. It helps you make decisions quicker. And that's what you see when you don't have that. When I see founders that don't have those things nailed down, they have meetings upon meetings to figure out the next meeting. Decisions are very slow and often flip back and forth. But once you kind of have that foundational piece, it's key. It's the key. And it's not to say that some of that can't change. You want to give yourself some breadth. And one of my favorite examples is if you're a if you build pencils, you produce pencils, and you want to, go out there as the best pencil company in the world. The day you decide to make pens is kind of a problem. So if you're the best writing utensil company, that gives you permission to kind of go in a different direction. It's not less clear. It's the same amount of clarity. It's just articulated in a way that gives you some space. So I think that's important as a new founder, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always tell everybody, and I think it's a naughty or a dirty word. I say you have no success without being able to do this: selling.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. I think selling is the key. I think we approach it differently. Like some people are not going to be good at, the hardcore, I'm going in after a lead, I'm going to turn the business, I'm going to expand within an account, whatever those look like. Maybe it is more about networking for you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more about, being a thought leader and influencing sales by doing good things for the world and driving that into the business that you're in. I think selling can take a lot of different forms.
Yeah, absolutely. And I make it easy for people. So, look, every day you are selling. If you're selling at home, you're selling to your partner, you're selling to your friends, you're selling to everybody.
True.
Well and truly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, I think in that case, yeah, it is true. You're absolutely right. You are selling all the time. We also say that my belief is it doesn't matter if you're working on it or not. You have a brand. You
Absolutely,
are known for something, whether you're paying attention to it and nurturing it, or you have a specific direction, an aspirational brand you want to be. It doesn't matter if you are doing that or not. You have one, and the sooner you can figure out what that is and what other people think about it, the better off you can do all of it. You can figure out your founder story. You can figure out the position in the market. You kind of have to understand that gap, what people think about you and what you think they think.
And this gets into another little topic along not just sales and everything else, but attracting people towards you. So that's what you want to ultimately do: attract people towards you that want to work with you, that want to work for you and be with you and be in your business and your company.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's important though to think about the right people and who do you want to attract. AI is interesting because I think sometimes blasting content, it doesn't mean you're getting the right people. And I think I was having this conversation about viral, the idea of viral content. Well, viral for you may be viral different for me, might not show up, right?
Yeah.
Because of who we look at and what we see and all of that. So do we know that because our content went viral, that we're getting the right people?
It's interesting to say that I used to reach out a lot on Facebook. and I had a coach to help me with Facebook and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a way of putting up little notes or what have you, and I would get lots and lots of attention. So lots of viral attention, get thousands of interest, like I think up towards 10,000.
Uh-huh.
And it got so out of control that Facebook put me in a special program. Once you get past a certain amount of content, that you can get hacked more. So it protects your account even more. But did it get me any business? Did it make me any money? No, it didn't.
Right. And that's it. I think, while I believe that impressions and engagement and all of those things are great metrics,
Yep.
you just have to be clear about, are they the right people that are engaging with your content? Are they the right people? Are you reaching the right people? And that's not always easy to figure out.
Well, that's why I always make this simple. It's about business. My podcast channel. I stray a little bit. I've got some mental health ones at the moment. They're still mental health is for everybody, and it's also for business.
Absolutely.
So I try and stay on that line. I got off it a little bit because of the World Cup, so there you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got lucky. I interviewed someone who does networking through a well-known sports club here in Australia,
Oh,
and I was able to utilise that for the podcast channel for business-wise as well.
nice. I love that. I think, sports is a great vehicle and something that unites people kind of across demographics. I think I like to think about your target audience more about their mindset and less about the demographics. And so I think sports kind of does that in a way.
Yep.
Like it helps you look at their mindset. I also worked with sponsorship marketing, sporting teams, like, F1. That's how I got to your neck of the woods for sure. And I think there's a great opportunity to leverage that kind of common denominator.
Yeah, and especially in Australia, we're well known for being a little bit shy on sports. No, we're not. We are the complete opposite.
Now, I was going to say, I went to a rugby match when I was there, and I'm not sure that I believe that.
Yeah, we are. My beloved Southern Rabbitohs are top 8 at the moment, so let's hope that continues. And I have a new granddaughter, and her mother said to me, "Look, I want you to get her into a sports team because she never really got into sports teams herself, and she regrets that. So she wants to make sure that I get her daughter into a sports team because it's really, really important."
It is really important. I have 3 athletes in my family, and we did a lot of traveling and practicing and educating about the sports. And I do think it's really important for youth, not only from a mental health perspective, which is one of the things I think that you're thinking about, but dare I say, it does, when you have that kind of focus around a sport, it does keep you out of trouble.
Yes, it does. You've got other things, and especially as a young person, you've got other things outside yourself to focus on.
Yes. That's back to your comment and your idea about a team of stars. Is that always a good team? And it does, I think, the team sports bring you to kind of this utilitarian, is that the right word? I think that
would be right, yeah.
Sense of the greater good. Sense of the greater good, and feel like it's not just about you. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll go to the Rabbitohs this weekend.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think we've covered quite a lot of ground in our short time. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, what was your website again, please?
It is positioningcollective.com.
Right. Thank you very much, Krista.
Thank you.